Good afternoon, dignitaries, members, and friends of PPF Kuwait. I extend you a warm welcome to our webinar today. Am I audible, all?
Yes, Mr. Prashant, you're audible.
My name is Prashant Warrior, Vice President of PPF, and I'm honored to be your host for today's evening. Joining me at the back-end controls is Mr. Shankaram, our ex-officio. Jointly, we will moderate this Q&A session. Time is a precious resource that we all have in equal measure. However, many of us struggle to make the most of our time and often find ourselves very busy, overwhelmed by numerous tasks and responsibilities. That's why we have organized this webinar, specifically designed to help you effectively manage your time and achieve a better work-life balance. For this session, we have a fantastic speaker in Mr. Mujeeb Patla, whom we expect to address this topic in his unique style and showcase you with strategies and techniques to take control of your time, set priorities, and optimize your productivity. I encourage you to actively participate in this webinar, ask questions, and take notes of the valuable insights that resonate with you. Our goal today is to equip you with the tools and knowledge you need to make positive changes in managing your time. Thank you for joining us today, and I hope that by end of this webinar, you will feel empowered and inspired to take control of your time, achieve your goals, and lead a more balanced and fulfilling life. To kickstart the official proceedings, I now request President of PPF Kuwait, Advocate Thomas Stephen, to deliver his presidential message. Over to you, President.
Am I audible, Prashant?
Yes, kindly continue.
Thank you. Very good evening to all, dear PPF Kuwait members, friends, and well-wishers. PPF Kuwait welcomes you to this webinar on the business of busyness. Ours is a group of professionals in Kuwait, including doctors, engineers, lawyers, management and financial professionals, and entrepreneurs. Progressive Professional Forum Kuwait was officially launched in the year 2014, and we are now celebrating our 10th anniversary in the coming year, and we are very happy that as a professional forum, we could lay down an effective platform to converge and contribute the soft and hard skills of professionals to the inclusive benefit of the society. The business of busyness. It's interesting to note the rhyming words, isn't it? In fact, the words convey different meanings and concepts. Being busy, as you often see in our WhatsApp DP, is an aspirational status symbol in work-oriented and productivity-obsessed people. It's a state or condition of having a great deal to do. On the contrary, one could dishonestly claim busyness at work. Many often it's a ruse to wriggle out from the responsibilities which one might think will go against his or her interest. But remember, at some point of time, we are responsible for the consequences of our choices in life. We know time is precious and powerful thing. We do not have a control over it. We have to tame the time, or in the battle with the time, we should come to terms with the arrow of time. It's all about how intelligently we are managing the time. Today's webinar centralizes on the question, is it worth to claim business in life or work? Are we able to encash our business in life or work? Let's see the 5 dimensions of the busyness. Our presenter today is Mr. Mujeeb Patla. He's a famous author, cartoonist, and a self-help motivational speaker. He's a dynamic, versatile young gentleman. And we will have a formal session after my address to introduce Mr. Mujeeb Patla, we will come to know more about him. We are very happy to announce that we got the right person to handle this webinar, as remarked by our Vice President. And PPF Kuwait proudly welcomes Mr. Mujeeb Patla to this webinar for his presentation. Mr. Prashant is moderating this webinar. Mr. Shirley, our General Secretary, and Shakaram, they are the backend supporters. And once again, I welcome all of you to this webinar. And let's listen to Mr. Mujeeb Patla. Let's move to the introductory session of Mr. Mujeeb Patla. Thank you all. Welcome all of you again. Thank you. Over to you, Prashant.
Thank you. Thank you, President. May I now request Mr. Srijit, our PPF Executive Committee member, to introduce our speaker. Over to you, Srijit. Srijit, could you unmute and speak?
Thank you, Prashant. Am I audible?
Yes, continue, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's great honor and pleasure for me to introduce our speaker today, Mr. Mujeeb Patla. He is multi-talented, eminent personality who has expertise in versatile sector. He is an author of many books, cartoonist, an academician, student counselor, and career trainer. He started his career as a cartoonist during his school days and has won many state level and national level awards. Kerala Cartoon Academy Awards during his school days 1998, 1999, and 2000, an open category 2006. Indian Institute of Cartoonist Award awarded him as a best budding cartoonist of the year 2008. MKMA Awards, CSAT 360 Distinct Cartoonist Award 2015. He has administrated many research and publications in his career. In the year 2019, he had organized live caricature show with the participation of many famous cartoonists in Kasaragod to raise fund for Chief Minister Disaster Management. As I mentioned in the beginning, it's a great privilege for having him tonight in this platform for such a relevant topic, busyness of the business. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you, Srijit. Over to you, Mujeeb. The platform is all yours.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Prashant, sir. Thank you, Advocate Thomas Stephen, sir, Srijit, sir. So we are going to have this session. Let me share my presentation with you. I think it's showing disabled.
Kindly access now, Mujeeb. I think it has been activated. Yes, we can see it.
See, no? Yeah, just a minute, sir.
Perfect. Slideshow.
Yeah, it's visible, yes. No?
It's visible, loud and clear. You're audible. The slide is visible. Please continue.
Yeah. So, thanking you all so much. Progressive Professional Forum. I have been going through the slides which was coming actually in the beginning. So strong community we have in Kuwait, and such a wonderful activities you all are doing there. And thank you once again for this opportunity to converse with you and communicate the message which I had in my book, The Business. So that is the more the precise message of this session. So depending upon the time zones, either we had or we are having or we have a busy schedule. So what is business and how this business and business can be collaborated for our own advantage? That is the main point, the summary of this session. So hundreds of years ago, the first wheel started rolling. the spark happened, the first bulb glowed. And the message was to make our life faster, better, and more comfortable. Though we were saving our time, we were not able to use our time in a better way. So that is the main message actually I confronted and made me to write a book. So we had a very interesting survey among our PPF people, our community members. So the question asked was, are you busy? So very interestingly, 80% of the people, they communicated that they are busy. They are willing to convey that and they are aware of their business. And 20% said they are not busy. The response analysis too shows the message was, yes, they are busy, and with what? So 68% of the people, they are ready to communicate that they are busy because of their job, 20% with family, and a minute 12% of the people, they said 12 like social activities. Those who said they are not busy, but they are engaged, they said 40% with their job, 30% with family, 10% with the studies, and 20% with the social activities, various activities. So apologies for the people, like whoever is trying to understand the concept that time can be managed. Time is a linear entity. Nobody can manage the time. It will flow. 24 hours, 365 days. Each one of us have it. But we have people like Abdul Kalam. We have Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton, Dhirubhai Ambani. Many people, they also had similar time scale, but they made wonders out of their life. So it is not about the time management, but it is about our effort management. So we have a webinar today, the business of the business. 5 dimensions of the business we are going to have. So as I said in the beginning, it is based on the book, The Business. So whatever we are going to understand in this session is actually a summary of that book. If you are really interested to read the book, it is available world across in most of the e-commerce portals. So what are the highlights of this session? So we are going to understand the business, the real business. So I will not go further deep into that business concept because too many of you might be living with the real business thing and the technicality will bore you, may bore you. So we will try to understand what is business and the business types, 7 hypotheses for why we are so busy, and 5 business dimensions, which is the soul of this session. So what is a business? So business is about the efforts, activities undertaken to produce and sell goods and services for profit. So if you miss any of this, either effort, activity, or profit, the business we are going to have or we are having will not fulfill its objective. If you are having the effort but lacking the activity, it will affect the profit. If you are having the activity but not efforts, meaningful efforts, it will again affect the profit. If you are having the effort and the activity, but if it is failing to produce the profit, then again it is a failed business. So what is a profit? That is the left after deducting all the expenses. And what is the expense? Expense is something that makes you pay. So you are paying either for your needs, wants, or wishes. So why we are having this small session or summary on the business? Because when we are trying to understand what is business and relating to the real business, we should understand what is actually the soul of the real business. So it is about the profit, it is about the efforts, it is about the activity, it is about the profit, it is about the expenses. Now let's come to the core topic of this session. What is business? A state of having a lot of activity or of not being idle. So the real business is about us trying to allocate our efforts, our productivity in a linear time scale. So statistics says there are so many particularities, but I will not go in detail because as we know, because statistics is somewhat boring to many people. So it is a USA Today published multi-year poll happened in 2008, which shows that women feel they are busier than men, obviously, and it's about seeing that people are getting busier and busier year to year. If you take the technology as a whole, every 10 years span, if you take, the technology makes us faster by 10 times. But the kind of result we are getting, or the time we have, the fruitful time we have, is reduces by 1/10. It is a very paradoxical phenomenon. Now let's understand the difference between the business and the business, because when we as a human, we understand things by comparison. So let's compare these two entities and see how both are affecting us and how we can collaborate each of these two for our own meaningful and productive life. So what is business? Business is about transactional activities. So whenever a business having its effect, it is about the transactions, and it is almost in all the cases effort oriented, and time is one of the resources. So time is not only the resources, time is one of the resources. We know what are the other resources. There are human efforts needed, there are material efforts needed. So all those are combined with the time, we are getting a business. But when we are coming to business, it is a unidirectional activity, meaning it is a time scale, as I said in the beginning. It will start with a 24-hour scale, 365 days, and it will be flowing only in one direction. As we live our life, the very moment which I said now, it will never come back. So it is unidirectional, and we cannot claim the thing which we already lost. And it is about the intention oriented. We all have a kind of intention in whatever we are doing, whether we are working, whether we are having a good time with our family, whether we are having a dinner, a good lunch, all are based on certain intention. The kind of friendship we make, the kind of political ideology we have, the kind of religion we follow, the philosophy we have, everything is based on certain intentions only. So nothing is unintentional, everything is intentional, and based on our intention, our business also will follow the path. So time is the backbone of our life, and that is about the business. Business is actually based on our time. So whenever we are losing time, we are becoming even more busier. So now let's come to the business classification. I'm not going to have very scientific kind of classification here. In a very simplistic manner, there are 3 types of business. Type 1 people, they are busy because they are so busy with their activities which are contributing towards their objective, their long-term vision, their short-term results. All those are aligned because in fulfilling all those activities, they are getting busy. Business type 2 is that people, they are busy because they feel they have to be busy. So they are taking so many activities in their schedule and they are trying to become more busy. And type 3 is busy because they are not sure with their time, they are not sure with their activities, they are not sure with their skills, talents, their efforts, and they are simply because they think they cannot do anything else. The kind of entertainment world, which we are going to discuss in the coming slides, is one of the reasons they are so busy. So there are 3 types of business. So we can classify from here only which kind of like type 1, type 2, or type 3, which kind of business is actually affecting our business. And one more thing I would like to highlight, if a person's, humankind's productive life is categorized up to the age of 20, anyway, they will be educating and they will be under the mentorship of the parents. So 20 to 30, that is 20s. So people will be facing 3 levels of life, one with 20s, 30s and 40s. So these are the 3 layers of lifetime each one of us are facing with respect to their productivity. So first layer, that is 20s, plenty at 20 that we can say, because after their education, they are seeing so much of their potential, so much of the scope, so much of their demand, so much of opportunity, they feel plentiness. So plenty at 20 is the first level. Second level is thirsty at 30, meaning as we reach 30s, we will try to gain more. Actually, like they will feel like in 20s they spend their time, their effort, their money, or their wealth, or their whatever, and they could not reach many things. So thirsty at 30 is that time where they also will become very busy, but they will try to prioritize what kind of result they want to achieve. And 40s, it is called thrifty at 40, because as they cross the 30s, in the 40s, they want to point to a certain activity. They don't want to lose so much of their time, because they already realize that much of their time, that much of their age is already over. So they will try to cherry pick those activities, those people, those efforts, which will contribute to their own well-being, and also to the people who are dependent to them. So there are three layers also, which I would like to highlight in this slide. Now comes the 7 hypotheses for why we are so busy. So there is a hypothesis, there is a theory, and there is law. So hypothesis is actually an intelligent guess, and theory is if hypothesis is proven right by observation or experimentation, it becomes a theory. And when this theory is proved universally, it becomes a law. So we are here going with the 7 hypotheses, meaning intelligent guesses, with respect to why we are so busy to deal with that question. So business as a badge of honor and trendy status symbol, many of us try to carry. So they are trying to busy because they feel it is a respectful thing to do. Or it could be business as a job security, like when they are working in a, say, a corporate world or in a company, they will try to show their business so that their employer will feel like they are worth kind of resource and they can invest on. And people who are observing, especially the management, they'll feel like this guy is very busy, and the person whoever is showing the business will feel like they are getting a job security out of exhibiting the business. The third thing, the third hypothesis is business as a FOMO, meaning fear of missing out, especially the younger generations, even the elder one also. They take their mobiles and their social networking websites. They keep on refreshing it. They are seeing the updates. Also the news feeds, if it is in a television, we always wanted to connect with the rest of the people. Even if we are, say, I'm in UAE, Abu Dhabi, you are in Kuwait, but we are very much interested in things which is happening in USA or in UK or in Russia or in Far East, like South Korea, North Korea. We want to understand what is happening there and how those things are going to affect us. So we always want to get updated and be on the same page. So fear of missing out is also one of the reasons why we are so busy. Then business as a byproduct of the digital age. No need to explain this. Already we know how busy we are because so much of digitalization is already happened. Let it be Instagram, let it be Snapchat, TikTok, or whatever. We are busy with all these digital age tools. Digital age technology is introduced to make us more productive, more comfortable, faster, and convenient. But still, we are very, very busy with all the stuffs that is already filled to us. Then business as a time filler, which already I explained. Whenever we have some time, say, before coming to the session, I myself was a culprit. I was just going through some of the feeds. So if we have a 10 minutes, if we have a meeting, if we have a session, or if we are going to attend a class, if we have to go to the company or whatever work, then the time whatever we have, no, we will try to fill it with our busy things. Then business as a necessity, as we all know, we all are expatriates, most of us, those who are from India or in native land, they are lucky anyway. So we are busy because we feel like we are spending our time here, investing our effort here. So we have to be busy. We have to take our time for its better use. So we ourselves try to find business in our schedules. Then business as an escapism, because many of the people, if they sit idle, if they try to sit in a place, then many thinking will happen, the thinking process will happen. It will start question how productive they are, what they did with their education. If they are working 5 years, I am working in the same company, nothing happened to me. Or even if I am promoted to a management role, how well I am doing the job. So many kind of questions will come. So what people do is to escape from such questions, like the first book which I wrote was Start From You. So most of the questions are answered there. So anyway, as an escapism tool also, business is used. Now comes the 5 dimensions, which is the soul of this particular session. The first is the fundamental dimension. Second is the time dimension. Third is the priority dimension. Fourth is the intention dimension. And fifth is the real business dimension. If we take a physical quantity, and if we want to have its dimension, we will take XYZ, because with this XYZ, we can at least measure it and express that particular physical quantity. Same way, the business can be explained and expressed in these 5 dimensions, which was the real effort behind writing the book. So the first dimension, the fundamental dimension, I had 5 dimensions in that book. 10 parameters are explained for each dimension. Because we cannot spend so much time in this session, I have put only the 3 parameters for each of the dimension. So here, fundamental dimension can be explained through the thing, flow, and fate. We will understand what each of this. The thing. We all are busy doing something, anything, everything, or nothing. This is very, if you make an observation of yourself, okay, we all are busy, right from the 8 a.m. if you are logging into a company, we will do something. Then after some time, we will get some more work, so we will do anything. After some more time, we will do everything. And after some time, we will do nothing. So kind of, it's kind of enigma that we all are facing in our life. So the thing is the first fundamental parameter which I would like to introduce. The second is the flow. So when you have these busy schedules, when you feel the busyness, it creates a flow. You will not have control over the time. It will start flowing. So if it is a busy day, you have to have a real control of your schedules. Otherwise, the kind of promise, the kind of real work which you planned in your work planner will not be satisfied. So flow is a kind of effortless activities which will happen in your schedule unless checked. So business as a fundamental dimension, flow is one of the real parameter which you have to have control of. Now comes the fate. Many people feel that they are busy because it is a fate. They are busy because it is destined. They cannot have a control over it. They don't have control over their life. They feel like the schedule they have, they cannot control, especially studies. Many students feel like engineering, if they go for medicine, nursing, whatever, because their syllabus is huge, they are so busy. If what people like us, we feel like our company is giving so much work, we feel like it is our fate, we have to carry out each one of them, and business is actually a fate. But the real thing is, it is about the choice. So priority is main thing which we have to prioritize in our scheduling. Then only we can remove the fate fundamental dimension. Now comes the time dimension. So time is, as I said in the very beginning, the business is about time unidirectional activity. So the value which you are going to have out of your business is mainly with respect to time dimension, and 3 parameters which we are going to have is value, past, present, future scale, and the direction. So the first one, the value. Your value is your time value. So say one person is a carpenter, the other person is an accountant, and third person is a marketing guy. So each one of them is getting paid for their efforts. So the value what they get in terms of monetary benefits is about the time how they utilize. So if a person is a carpenter, we know how a carpenter spends its work time because they will be giving various shapes to different wooden objects. What an accountants do, we know they are we used to call bean counters. They are the most valuable professionals as viewed in most of the companies because anyway they are handling all the complex activities of money and money making. And if you take the third category, the marketing guys, they are the people who are bringing the business, especially through sales. So each one of these people, when they are getting valued, when they are assigned with a certain value, it is based on how much value they are generating out of their time. So that is the parameter which we have through time scale. And past, present, future is time is ticking, so is future. Meaning, as I said in the very beginning, a linear time flow is happening. So we cannot claim the time which we already lost. But when we are spending time in the present tense, the time which we spent, the productivity which we had, the value which we created will stay, and it will give a kind of thrust towards the future. If we miss out the present, it will go to the past, and the past which we lost, we cannot climb back, and the future which we are going to have will be based on the present. So if we miss out past, it's gone anyway. Present is your real time, which you have to be mindful of. And if you are so busy with your schedules, and if you are unintentionally involving yourself in so much activities, and these activities are not contributing towards your long-term or short-term objectives, it will affect your future also. So always think time is ticking and is future also, because each second which you are spending, you are nearing to the next future. Now comes the direction. Mindless spending of time results in directionless life, meaning especially if we are a victim of social media, like web series, Netflix, Amazon, or whatever, we can make a better use of these platforms for our benefit. But if we don't know what we are doing with all these platforms, digital tools, modern technology, even artificial intelligence, open chat, AI, whatever, if we are not mindful with our efforts, then the life which we are going to have will be a directionless life. So a time dimension of the business says mindless spending has to be removed. Now comes the priority dimension. So here we have three parameters: learning, wisdom, and liability. Let's understand what is learning. So before getting busy, learn how to be busy. Meaning, as I said in the beginning, time management is a myth. So we have to be very careful with our efforts. Efforts generates results. And the results, whatever we are going to have, as our president said in the beginning, will determine our life. So we have to be responsible for our life and whatever we are going to achieve. If when I used to teach in an engineering college, I used to go to the first year because I am very fond of communicating with first years, and I used to ask, why you selected civil engineering, why you selected computer science engineering, why you selected mechanical engineering or biotechnology. Most of the people, 99% of the people will say that their parents actually dictated that particular branch to them. And they will take that particular branch and they will enroll that 4 years in their life. They will get busy in their assignments, in their projects, in their examinations, in whatever the curriculum says, the teachers say they will do that. All the 4 years, whatever they are going to have, they will spend just like that without thinking, mindless. And at the end of the 4th year, most of us will feel like we lost out. This is not the thing what I wanted to have. I never wanted to have mechanical engineering as my engineering or my education background. I never wanted to become a software engineer. I wanted to become, say, a musician. I wanted to become a painter. I wanted to have a kind of, I'm a fan of automobiles. So I wanted to go for automobile marketing field. So such kind of thing happens because before busy, no, we have to actually understand in what we are going to have, going to be busy at, and whether we have to be busy at all. I just put an example as because most of us know like how our 3 years or 4 years of graduation went just like that, and later in our life we regret, most of us. So that is one of the thing through learning. Now the wisdom. So when we are reaching to wisdom, there are different steps, basic steps. First, it starts with the data. So as we understand, the information age we had, given so much of data to us, that this data can be associated and processed to form the information. But most of us, including many of the students, I don't know whether they are part of the attendees, they feel like information is the knowledge. Information is never a knowledge. Information will become knowledge once you know what information it is. If you are able to connect the information, if you are able to process it, then only it will become knowledge. Then you take the knowledge, and if you know where to apply the knowledge, then only it will become your wisdom. Once you know how to handle your wisdom, then it will become your insight, then it becomes your impact. So there is an interesting relation between data, information, knowledge, wisdom, and insight anyway. So with age must come wisdom and sense of priority. Most of us are in 30s, late 30s or 40s. Kids will be having their life now, seeing the session. So they feel like now they will be spending their time, their efforts, even their money which their parents gave, like with mindlessly. But as they cross through, as I said in the very beginning, there are 3 layers, 20s, 30s, and 40s. When they cross 20s, no, as they reach 30s, they will start feeling the pinch. When they feel the pinch, no, they feel like, yeah, I already spent my education. I already had my 5 or 6 years of professional life. What I achieved, what I'm going to leave to my dependents, what I'm going to leave, mark, the footprint which I'm going to have in the world. What kind of person I will be known for? What are the efforts which I did and will give some impact? So those kind of things will happen to pop up. So wisdom, always it comes with the age and the kind of priority, you know, which we are going to give. That itself explains how effective we are in our life. So business, if we are not able to gain the what you call the wisdom, the real knowledge through our life, then the setting of priority becomes even more difficult. Then comes the liability. So what you do, that you become. It's a very what you call simplistic manner of expressing this parameter, because if I spend say 50 minutes of my time with a session which makes me learn something on say one software you take, Python, that 50 minutes will determine what actually I'm going to do in the future. If I spend the same 50 minutes watching a series in Netflix, that 50 minutes anyway taken my time, it will again leave an impact on our future. So it is a liability. The business which we are going to generate, the business which we built ourselves in, is going to become a liability for you also. So what you do, that you become. Now comes the intention dimension. 3 parameters: chaos, commitments, and entrapment. So in the chaos, the business of thoughtless acts builds more chaos. Most of us think if we leave things as it is, eventually it will be becoming simplistic and it will unravel and we will live our life in a better manner. Our life will be more convenient in later part of our life. But the thing is, if you are not intentional, if you are not mindful, and if you leave your life to the business without thinking much, the kind of chaos will be phenomenal. It will more, the complication will be even more. So especially for the student community, if any of you are, because most of us who have grown our gray hairs, we already understand the consequence of this. So the student community, any person is there, please understand the business of thoughtless acts brings more chaos in your life. So please prioritize your efforts and be meaningful in your thoughts and activities. Now comes the commitment. Before committing, know the commitment. This will be applicable to our professional people, because we commit many things to many people, especially when we come under the immense pressure from the client. We commit, yes sir, in 2 hours, yes sir, in 1 hour, we will do this. But we know that we are not going to do, and the person who is listening to your promises, if they feel that you are not able to give the result in 1 hour, 2 or 3 hours, the business what we generated will not have kind of effect in your life. Now comes the entrapment, very interesting part, especially now. More the entertainment, more the entrapment. You don't have to do anything. 300 dirhams AED, go and purchase one Samsung phone, install all the apps, take the data or Wi-Fi, open it. That's all. That will define your life, and that will define your day. So you take the your mobile phone, Instagram, Netflix, emails, feeds, news, YouTube videos, which is no way going to contribute to you, trolls, political debates, which is not going to affect you in any way. Even if you watch a debate today, and after 1 year or so, it is not going to have any impact on you. So don't get entrapped in your entertainment. If you take any industry, especially if by worth in $1 billion, if you take the biggest industry which is making mark in our life, and the business people who are investing their money is in gaming, meaning they feel so much potential in this industry. Many of the youngsters, even the adults, they find time to play video games, computer games, and they are entrapped in that. And people are investing more and more time, effort, and their resources to generate even more interesting games. So we are entrapping ourselves with all these entertainments, and that makes us busy. And whatever business we are having, will take time out of our life. Now the last dimension, the business dimension. Here comes the 3 parameters: mass, jumping the queue, and jet the jets. First parameter is mass. See shall not be believing, meaning we schedule our life. Say 8 a.m. we just logging into a company, our desk, and we will have a certain activities. We will see it and we will try to categorize it based on its merit. Sometimes the client which is giving more pressure, we will give priority to them. If it is a student, they will take each subject. The teacher who is more strict, they will give more priority to those people. The subject handled by those people, and we will try to manage ourselves. We will try to put the mask which is matching to the surroundings. And what impact this kind of effort which we are going to have is we will not become what we wanted. Actually, we will become something which others wanted. And this kind of mask, when you start wearing, after some time, after some phases of life, we will really get bored, and we will try to remove this mask. But by the time this mask becomes your real face. So the business which you generated as a reflection of the outside world will kill the real element within you, and will make a person out of you which is nobody. Now comes the second parameter of the 5th dimension, jumping the queue. I have seen, you also might have seen, if you are in an India railway station, you will see many people, they will jump the queue. Okay, there are 50 people, they will go in the front, the first or second person, and they will give the money, and they will say like, take the ticket for me also. And if you closely observe, most of the people, even you yourself will be the culprit. they will, after saving so much of time, no, they will stand somewhere and they will be browsing their phone. So they don't have any meaningful things to do, but still they find themselves so so much convenient and comfortable to jump the queue, save so much time and waste that time just like that. But you can see the people who are standing very behind the queue. They wanted to have the train. If they miss the train, they will lose many things, but still they will feel like I will stand in the queue and I will follow the rules. But there are people who jump the queue and they don't have a meaningful thing for their life or with their time, but still they will show like they are very busy, but they don't have anything in their hand. Now comes the judge. Meaning when we are busy, we create an illusion around us. This illusion is built by our judgment. So if we leave this judge unchecked, then the kind of life what we are going to have, as I explained in 4-year graduation life of an engineering student, he develops a kind of judgment out of the instruction that he or she gets from the classroom, from the teachers, from the surroundings, friends, family members, and they create a kind of judgment, and upon this judgment they spend their 4 years of life. But if that person is not intentional, if he or she is not judging the judge which happened as a result of the outside activity or the outside influence, then they will be regretting the rest of the life, because they never questioned their own intention, and this intention which happened not because that was reflective of their inner self, but as formed as a result of the outside force. So my humble request is always judge the judge. Otherwise, the kind of business what we create is a result of the judgment which happened unintentionally. And if we don't judge it properly, then the kind of life what we are going to have out of all this business will be miserable. Now, towards the end of the session, I would like to ask you the question: are you really busy? These are the references. So if you have any question, please shoot it. I'm more than happy to answer it.
Thank you, Mujeeb. I think it was a different perspective altogether on the various topics that you covered. We have a couple of interesting questions to start with. I will start with what I have received from the audience now. The first one is, people often say, I'm too busy. How can one control the bottom line of busyness? It's from Tijo.
Yeah, hi, Sijo. When we take business, the real business with I, we are very much interested in the bottom line. So when we try to control just a minute. Yeah, because just a minute, I lost the question. Yeah, bottom line of business. See, we cannot control. First, we cannot control our time. Okay, anyway, it is flowing. We can only control our inner self. So, how to control our inner self? As I almost reached the end of the session, I said, judge the judge. So, whatever we are doing is based on the judgment which we develop. As we grow, our judgment becomes more strong, more rigid, difficult to change. But for youngsters, anyway, it is more flexible and dynamic. They can do it. But for the elders, the judgment which they created are solid, rigid. Anyway, it is more practical and relevant. So, the uncontrollable business can be managed with a better judgment. That is the answer, sir.
Thank you, Mujeeb. The next question is, what way I can replace the saying, I'm too busy in my work? It's from Asim.
Yeah, a very good question. There are three kinds of people. First kind is yes, those who say yes to everything. And there is a second category, those who say no to everything or most of the things. And third category is I don't know category. Like they are not sure about their life, about their efforts. So these three kinds of people are there. So when how to replace this word "I'm too busy," I feel like you should learn to say no to things which you don't want to do, and you should be able to be brave enough to say that yes wherever you want. So you have to be very selective with your yeses, you have to be very brave with your no's, and you have to be very subtle with your don't knows. That is the answer, sir.
That's interesting. Just as a side note, I have read somewhere that most successful people say more number of no's than they say yes. So that gives them the time to manage their efforts as well as they probably use their time better. I'm not sure.
So yeah, yes, sir, Prashant, sir, yes, sir, right.
Okay, the other next question is from Jijulal. Is advancement in technology also increasing expectations that one has to be reachable and responsive 24/7? What do you suggest to work around this? Is the question clear?
Can you repeat, sir, once again?
Okay, I think the essence means since technology is advancing, there is also an increase of expectations that you are expected to be reachable and responsive throughout the day or 24/7. Under those circumstances, what do you suggest? Is there a workaround this kind of expectations that you get from others?
Yeah, very good question again. Any job, whatever we do as a as a site person, supervisor, management, we are trying to build some products. We are always we are trying to have some service. We are trying to deliver something. We are trying to build something. We are trying to visualize something. We are trying to create something. So always we are in a process of making, as I said at the beginning, life faster, better, or convenient. But the problem is in this process, we all want to have more out of less. Okay, so expectations, no matter this level of technology we are reaching, cannot be achieved all the time. So there should be a realization that we cannot have everything for all of us. As like there is an interesting statement. If you want to make everyone happy, then you have to sell some ice creams. Meaning, like, it's very difficult to make everyone happy. You have to be very selective. You have to be understanding your impact, where you will be more meaningful, and you have to filter your, as I said in the question answer session, the second question, I think, you have to be very very brave with your nose, and you should know what exactly you are doing. Otherwise, your schedule will be handled by someone else, and that will not generate the result which you wanted. Sir.
Right. Thank you. The next one is there any relation between busyness and productivity? That's from Advocate Smita.
Yes, Smita, madam. Productivity, obviously, when we are trying to do many things together, we become busy. But when we do many things together, it will affect the quality of our work. It is understood that there are people who do many things together, multi-talented or whatever you call, multi-working, like that kind of thing. But most of the people, the kind of quality they are going to generate will be phenomenal if they are trying to focus. So the business is not a guarantee for productivity. Productivity, if you are measuring in terms of quality. If you are measuring in terms of quantity, it may be related, business and productivity, but in terms of quality, it will be affecting. So we have to be mindful of.
Right. What are some of the, Mr. Firoz asks, what are some of the effective strategies of managing busyness and avoiding burnout in the workplace? I think this could be an extension of what you just said a couple of questions back.
Yes, sir. Can you repeat once again, please?
What are some effective strategies for managing busyness and avoiding burnout in the workplace?
Yeah. When we are in a work environment, obviously we will be given targets, we'll be having deadlines, and there will be expectations, and there will be works which we have to complete. So when we are trying to elaborate our efforts through the time scale, if you're not finding the kind of satisfaction we actually wanted to have, means everyone is having a kind of expectation out of their life. Let it be a day, let it be a week. If they are not able to achieve that satisfaction, if they don't feel like they achieved something in their life, even if a person is a plumber, even if it is a what you call mechanical operator, if he feels or she feels the kind of work he or she is doing is not contributing towards their objective, their life, it's not giving any impact in their life, it's not giving any impact to the society, especially for the millennials, because they're always trying to understand the kind of job what they are doing is impacting the world around, whether it is contributing towards the people also, the fellow being. For us elder people, we feel like the kind of work which we do, no, it is not contributing, we will feel burnout. Okay, so I feel the kind of business and the burnout, if we have to, remove the relation between these two, or if you want to dislodge it, better try to have some activities which advances either your knowledge, either your skills, either your networking. If you are going to have such elements, if you are going to build a new networking will give more opportunities. New knowledge will give more friends. New skills will give more opportunities again. So try to have such elements in your daily work life. I know it is very difficult to put in the scale, but we have to be intentional. Even if it is 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 50 minutes, we have to have that. If we have that kind of elements in our creative life or our life, busy life, we will never feel the burnout, because end of the day we'll feel like, yeah, we did something for someone, or we did something for ourselves, or we advanced in some level. If we have that kind of thing, no, the business what we are going to have will not make any kind of burnout in our life. That is my feeling.
Thank you. Next is a statement from Mr. Jyotidas. He says, I think you didn't cover the social engagements which are directly related to society and social life.
What was the statement? Come again. What is the first part?
I think you didn't cover social engagements which are directly related to society and social life. You have a comment on that?
No, because I left out that part. That will go for another session. Whatever statement made, no, that is right. Thank you for highlighting again.
Okay. The next one is from Kiran. Even if we are in third category of busyness, is it not better than being into becoming a devil's workshop? So he's referring to your third category.
Yeah, understood.
And he says, is it not better than being into becoming a devil's workshop, being somebody else?
Yeah, if you don't mind becoming anything out of doing anything, then you can be in type 3. As I used to have, like, there are people who used to be in comfort, who like to be in the comfort zone, and they are happy within the comfort zone. Then there is nothing wrong in that. But those people, they feel like, I want to get out of the comfort zone and achieve something in life. They have to put more risk. They have to take more risk. They have to put more effort. They have to be more intentional. So those people who feel like, I have to go out of the comfort zone and get the things done, for them, yeah, it is bad. If they are very happy with that, then I don't have any comment, because end of the day, we have to be happy. We have to feel ourselves fulfilled. We have to be satisfied. That's all. That's, I think, most of us, that is our motto of our life.
Right. The next question is, actually, it's a two-part. One is a statement and one is a question from Bala Shiva Srikant Adivi. He says, excellent presentation. Really good to see such explanation. has a question. How effectively balance family commitments, job aspects, and voluntary jobs? How to effectively balance? I think he meant how to effectively balance family commitments, job aspects, and voluntary jobs. Kindly throw light.
Yeah, these three things, too, I think hitting our head, most of the expatriates in most of our life, rest of our life, I say. People used to discuss this topic, work-life balance. If you take most of the discussion happening around the work-life culture in Western media, this is a hot topic they discuss. The thing is what is my belief is, there is nothing called work and life. They are not different actually. If I work in a company in Abu Dhabi, obviously, it will take certain things out of my life, certain things into my life, and the people who are around me has to be self-arranging to take me to Abu Dhabi. Like say, if I am working as an expatriate, obviously, I cannot have my entire family here. I cannot have entire neighborhood here. So I will be forced to live in a place where I don't belong actually. The rules are different, the political systems are different, the language is different, the food is different, and I have to arrange myself to that. Even the family, my wife, my kids, they also have to arrange their lives accordingly. So work and life, they are not two different things. They are almost same. Depending upon the work, we arrange our life. And the work-life balance which we are trying to achieve can be done only when we are able to build that work, the work which we feel passionate about, which we are good at, in which we are recognized. If we have that kind of thing in our work, then that will be reflected in our life, and we will be more happy. When we are happy in our family life, then the people around us, like our kids, our wives, or whoever, they will be happy. So work, life, both are very much related. You cannot have a balance. Both are one and the same. If you are good at work, it means you are happy with your work, that will be reflected in your life. If you are good in your life, people around you, then that also will be affecting your work. So both are one and the same. That is my understanding.
I think that's very aptly said. You have a young audience. There is a question from Master Snikt Manoj. What is the ideal proportion of time management for a productive student in your opinion?
Ideal time management?
What is the ideal proportion of time management for a productive person or student? So I think what he essentially is talking about is you're busy and non-busy, or how you have segregated it in your presentation.
Yeah.
Productively busy or non-productively busy, that could be the question.
Yeah, there is a very interesting book. I don't know whether you read, sir, 2080 rule.
Yes.
So I suggest, I suggest our dear student to read that book 2080, because the things which we do in our life, the 80% thing which we do will contribute to only 20%, and 20% what we do now, that will result into the 80% of the result what we are getting. So I think most of the students should read this book first, and they will understand actually how the small efforts will define their rest of the life. So being productive and business is not that big thing. It's a very easy thing. The only problem is the kind of judgment which we are developing.
Right. Ramesh has a question for you. Many expatriates also keep themselves busy just because of their social commitments to be socially responsible person, which also includes mentoring the younger generation. Into which of your 7 hypotheses can this be classified as?
I have to, just a minute. I have to go through the hypothesis first. Just a minute.
So many expatriates also keep themselves busy just because of their social commitments to be socially responsible person, which also includes mentoring the younger generation. So he's primarily talking about being a socially responsible person, by mentoring the younger generation. Into which of hypotheses would you classify?
None of it actually. If you feel, if you just read the 7 hypotheses, no, these are actually giving the negative, the showy part of the business. It says actually why you are busy, but you are not able to get anything out of the business. I think I missed out that part. There are two kinds of business. The business which contributes towards your growth, and the business which is not contributing towards your growth. And the 7 hypotheses which we explain is those business which is not contributing towards your growth. So it will not fit. None of it will fit it.
Right. Thank you. The next question. At the start of the session, the statistics indicated that women are more busy than men, and that too on data based apparently from United States. Just curious if that data could be extrapolated. The difference is this difference increasing, remaining constant, or decreasing according to you? This is from Shankar.
Obviously, the demography will be different. The USA, most of the people will be, the women will be working women, like working person. So they have to have a family life. They have to have a corporate or a professional life. So I think it will be different, geography-wise. So we cannot extrapolate.
Okay. There's a question from Manuraj Rameshan. Some guys showcase themselves as busy by staying back late night and sending emails late night. Yeah, which is quite correct. When they would have wasted a lot of time in between. Many of these cases are rewarded with good rewards and recognition too. So there's no question, but that's a statement that he has made. You have any comment on it?
Manuraj is my dear friend. We had engineering together. We together, did our first job. So I always have appreciation towards him and his feelings. And he said very rightly, actually, the point.
Right. Okay. Next is from Sadish. Aren't we supposed to be busy with goals? Don't you think that being busy is a good thing? My boss is successful because he kept himself busy. That's what Sadish says.
Yeah, so just before, I think when we were explaining about the hypothesis, no, I said business are 2 types. The business which is contributing towards our objectives and long-term vision. I think his boss is done that. So there is nothing wrong in that actually. The only problem is when we are busy and when we are not able to get things done in our life, we are not achieving anything, but we feel like I am very busy throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the months, throughout the years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, but I achieved nothing. If that kind of feeling comes, then only the business, no, whatever we had is not contributing. That kind of business is actually the problem. The real business where we do things and contributing towards your advancement. That is a good thing. The only problem is it should not burn your health. It should not affect your social life. It should not break your family. It should not, ruin your mental life balance. That's all. Otherwise, it's always good to have.
There's a question from Secretary Shirley. How do we change over to type 1 busyness?
Yeah, I think whatever I said just before, no? If we are going to take that kind of activities which is contributing, which is making us gain, which is making us to learn, which is going to make us earn, then obviously, no, that kind of business is the type 1 business. So better to have that kind of business.
Right. Thank you. I think we are moving on to the last question of the day, which is how to prioritize our daily tasks. You have a thought for it?
Yeah,
it is from Jaymohan.
Yeah, Jaymohan, sir. Prioritization happens with respect to the kind of result what we want to see. Like if I want to become, say, an aerospace engineer, I know like what to start with, what kind of education I should have. If in a work, in a day it starts, if I'm able to understand exactly where I want to reach, if we are going to have that kind of understanding, a kind of roadmap, then it is very easy to do that. So it's basically about our intention, mainly our intention. Intention will decide, it will dictate our judgmental pattern.
Right. So I think we are done with our questions. Can we then move on to the last part of the webinar? Okay. So I will now move on to the vote of thanks. Before that, PPF Executive Committee wants to inform you that our next webinar is scheduled on cyber security. The topic is cyber security demystified, and we have another excellent speaker, Mr. Ilyas Kulyankal, Group CEO of Cyber Shelter, joining us on 21st of July. So do tune in and let's enhance our knowledge on cyber security. I move on to my vote of thanks. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of PPF Kuwait, I would like to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks to each and every one of you for joining us on this webinar. We are truly grateful for your presence and engagement throughout the session. Your valuable feedback, some of you have given feedback, some of you have made statements, some of you have asked questions. All of this has made this event a great success. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank our speaker, Mr. Mujeeb Patla, who took the time to share his knowledge and insights with us today. The presentation and Q&A was informative, engaging, and more importantly, I believe presented in a manner that was quite understandable by all. Our team has worked hard to make this webinar happen, and we are glad that we were able to provide valuable information to all of you. Thank you all members, friends, and well-wishers of PPF Kuwait behind this event. Once again, thank you all for joining us, and we hope to see you at our future events. Have a great evening. Thank you, Mujeeb, once again officially, and we announce this session to be now officially over. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.